Before you watch the video or skip to the next part, make sure that you stop. Why? Because I might save your money and time. We have Accenture Prime subscription, which is like Netflix but for placement preparation, upskilling, coding and certifications. It has more than 200 plus courses like AI, ML, data science, AWS cloud, full stack web development, CC++, Java, Python, DSA, component coding, aptitude. Even has micro courses for companies like TCS, MPT, Wipro, Deloitte, ZS, Amazon, Cisco, Qualcomm, etc. So all problem solved just with one single subscription. And not just courses, just like a single subscription. We also have a preference star placement cell that has more than 400 plus hiring partners, and we actually do refer you in all of these companies once you complete or track all these things.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on Accenture Pseudo code round. So here in this video, I'm going to help you with how you can crack this pseudo code questions. And I'm going to take some question and answers in terms of help you understand how you can break down the questions and get to the correct answers. All right. So now, as always, as we give top 3 commenters Accenture Prime subscription for the free. So this is going to be same for this video. So make sure you comment down and you'll get a chance to get free Accenture Prime subscription here. All right. So now, as you know, there are more than like 30 plus companies are going to hire this placement season. So make sure you subscribe us or follow us on all these channels like Instagram, WhatsApp, Discord, LinkedIn and Telegram. And also we are going to come up with all the series of coding round and there's pseudo code and also aptitude related videos on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to this video YouTube as well. So now without further ado, let's discuss the first question. So basically before solving this question, I want to tell you something that these are the actual questions that have been asked in the previous year. I could not submit the screenshot or like I can't add the screenshot on this video because of some other issues. So that's why make sure that these are the real questions that have been asked in the last year. And also while solving this other questions, any which way I'm going to help you with solving the question and give you the answer. But I want you to pause the video, solve the question and then only check whether your answer is correct with whatever I'm going to explain the right answer or not, because that way you will learn eventually like what is the mistakes that you have been doing and it will help you learn better in this sense. All right. So now this is the first question that we have, which is where we have a C code that this is like importing file something, and the main function that we have here, we're having a 3 variables like x equal to 9, y equal to 2 and z equal to 6, right? After that, the next statement that we have where we are going to store a value in a variable a, and this value we're actually going to compute from the rest of the variables that we have seen. So as you can see, first we are going to here it is performing AND operation, bitwise AND on x and y, and whatever the result that it will get from this bitwise AND operation, on that result it's going to perform OR operation or bitwise OR operation on the z with the value of the z. Alright. So now the first thing that you need to know in order to get the answer, and we are going to, whatever the answer that we will get after evaluating the statement, we are going to print that value. And here we have the options as well, either it's going to throw error or 2, 6 or 3, any of which. Alright. So the first thing, in order to solve this part, you need to understand how bitwise operator works, right? So basically here we have the values in the decimal numbers. So this x, y and z are in a decimal format, and these bitwise operators are worked on the binary numbers. So the first thing you have to figure out is that how to convert these decimal numbers into the binary format. So there are mathematical ways where you can multiply these numbers with 10 raised to the power or something, but I will tell you a very easy shortcut, because since these questions are like time limited, you have to answer them in terms of respected time. So whatever you can do is like whenever you want to convert any decimal number into a binary, you can use this trick. So this is how you can do that. Let's write this 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, then 32, then 64 and so on. So these are not the random numbers. Basically, if you see, these are like 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 3, because this is what the numbers you will multiply with the decimal in order to convert that into binary, right? So now, let's convert this x, the first value, the variable that we have, into the decimal. So for the x, the value is going to be, we have here the closest number that we have is 8 and thus 1. 8 plus 1 will be your 9 and this will be 0. So 1001 is going to be the binary number for this x. Then we are going to perform for y, same thing. What is the value of y? Is 2. So directly we have the value here is going to be the 1. Remaining values are 0 since this is how you can represent the 2 in the binary, like 1 0, or if you want to represent that in a 4 bits, then it will be 0 0 1 0. On this x and y, we have to perform this AND operator, like that is like bitwise operation, right? So if you know, in order to perform the bitwise OR operator, like whenever you are comparing these two values, so there's a thumb rule or shortcut that you can remember is that whenever these two values are true, like true means like we can represent true as 1, false as 0. So whenever both the values are true, then only it will evaluate to true, otherwise it will be false. So in that scenario, everything here will become 0 because any condition, or by comparing these two numbers, we do not have any situation where both the numbers are 1 1. So this will be the result of what we can say x and y, or bitwise operator on x and y. Now, after that, once you get this output, this is the 0. The decimal value of this is going to be 0. Alright. And now, what we have is for the z, and on that z, we have to compare, like on this result, we have to perform bitwise OR operator. Alright. So now let's first write the z in binary format. The value is 6. So you can write it in terms of like 1 here, 1. 4 plus 2 is 6 and 0 0. And on these two values, you can perform the OR operator or bitwise OR operator. Alright, and what will be the resultant or the answer is going to be? It's going to be, so whenever while performing the bitwise OR operator, if any of the value is true, then it will evaluate to true. So that's why here it will be 0. And while comparing these two values, one value is true, one other value is 0. So it will evaluate to 1. This will also evaluate to 1. This will also evaluate to 0. So this is what the resultant that we have, the binary value after performing the operation, these operations. Now you have to convert this into an integer. So to convert that, as you know, you can directly use 4 plus 2, which is like 6. And we have the option 6. So this will be your correct answer for this question. I hope you got the same as well. And let's move on to the next question here. Alright. So here we have some for loop and some if statement. So again, pause the video, solve it on your own, and if there is any difficulty, you can cross verify with the solution that I'm going to tell you. Alright, so here we have some variables like f equal to 6, g equal to 9, and the variable sum that we have initially set as 0. So the first integer n, then we have a conditional statement for the if, checking if the condition, that is the value of g is greater than f or not. So basically here we have 9 is greater than 6, which is true. It will evaluate to the true, so it will jump to the next statement from this if clause. So here we have a for loop, and the value of f we are going to assign to the n. So here your n will become 6. Then this n is less than g, which is the condition that we have. That means if we have to write the value, 6 is less than 9, which is true, which will evaluate to the true. And if it is true, then it will perform the summation, the next statement that we have, and it will increment the value of n as well. So what will be the incremented? So let's write for the sum first. So what will initially the sum value is 0, and plus the value of n, it will become 0 plus 6. So here we have 0 plus 6. So the new value, it will be 6. And the increment operator, the value of n will become 7. Right, I hope that is simple. We are just incrementing this value. And similarly, this for loop will run till the condition is going to be true. So for the next iteration, it will be 7 is less than 9, which is true. And you're going to add this 7 to the existing sum, which is 6. So basically now it will become 6 plus 7, and which will be, we can say like 30. Right. Then again your increment operator, it will make as 8. So the next condition that we have, again we will check for the for loop whether the condition is same or not. So now 8 is less than 9, which is also true, which will evaluate to true. So it will perform the sum on the initial value. So it will become like 13 plus 8, which will evaluate to as 21, and the new value for the n will become 9 here. Alright, so far this is good. And now let's check the condition for n is less than or equal to g with respect to the new n value. So whenever you compare this value, n is less than 9, so this will be false. It will not evaluate. It will turn out to be false. It will jump out of the loop since here we do not have anything to execute. It will directly come to the print statement, and here we have to submit the sum value, like we have to print it. And what is the value that we got? The 21, and here we have the 21, which will be the answer for this question. I hope you got that correct as well. Now let's move on to the next question. Alright, so here we have the C code. Alright, and here we have given some variables for x, y and z. And after that, there's a statement here. And as you can check this statement and let me know what is wrong with this statement. And there's nothing wrong, but basically it's not performing it's not any use for us in this scenario or in this program. So why? Because as you can see here, it is using not equal to operator. So basically it is a comparison operator. We are not assigning any value to the y. We are just comparing it with the some value of x. We are performing some operation on x as well. We'll discuss about that. Alright. So basically it is not updating any value of the y. It is just comparing with some value of the x. Now what is this some x value? So here we have a symbol not x. So which is we have here as not x. So whenever you use this not operator with the logic gates or with the operators, Boolean operators, or so here you can check that. So whenever a statement which you say as not true, okay, so it will turn to false. So anything that you pass in a not operator, it will just negate that. Okay. So now again similarly, if you say not false, then it will become true. So in this scenario, when we say not x, so what is the value of the x that we have? It is 11. So that means this value is not 11. And what will be the numerical value then of this x? Alright. So like this values, the Boolean values for the true, we have a numerical value as 1. For the false, we have numerical value as a 0. So so this is what you need to know, understand any positive number. It's not just specifically 1, it can be any positive number. But for the false, it's always going to be 0. Alright, so what we have here, any positive number, so we can consider this as true. And if I'm doing the negation, then it's going to be with the not operator, it will be as false. So that means it will turn to the 0. So here, the not x value will become 0. But since we are not updating anything, so this is not relevant to us at all. So you can just completely ignore this statement because it's just comparing the value and it's not making any sense to us because we are going to print the y, but the y value will be your same as it is because we are not updating anything. Now let's look at the next statement. Here we are comparing, we are updating the value. It is an assignment operator here we have, and we are updating the value of not x to the z. So as we know, what we have in a not x is like not 11. So which will, for the first time when you do, like this is what we have. Let's say, let's ignore this. If we have not of x, so which will be not of 11. Alright. So which will become this not 11 if you solve for this first one, which will be 0. So basically it will become not of 0, and anything or which is negation of 0, which will be true. So here it will become 1. Why? Because anything that we have 0, what we mean by the 0, because its value is false, and not of false will become true. And the value of true that we have is a 1. So that's why here the value of y will be 4 and z will be, alright, so basically z will be 1. because this is the value that we have. So this is what the answer you will get in this question. Alright. So now basically these kind of a questions that you can expect while solving the pseudo codes, and this might be for some, if you know C++, it might be easier for you to solve this question. But for the people, let's say, who are completely new to this, so I will recommend what are the topics that you have to solve for. The first thing, let's say if you go to prepinsta.com page, here you can check under the companies section. So here you have the Accenture, and inside the Accenture, as you can see, you can get to know about all the details about the placement for this Accenture round. And here you can check on the side menu. Here we have the pseudocode option, and here you will get all the questions from the previous year, so you can access from here. And also you have the quizzes. So some of the quizzes are free, and some of the quizzes are paid for the people who have the Prime subscription and only accessible for them. But if you check this pseudocode round 2, so basically here you have some of the questions and which you can obtain, and you can consider solving this. So that will be enough for you to crack most of the depends on the next interview round that you are going to set for this pseudocode round. Alright. So now apart from this practicing the question, you need to know C++ and C as well. So same here on the prepare tab, you will see under the programming, here you will get to know about all topics for C and C++. Alright, from here you can learn. And after that, if you want to get from a video specific course, you can visit Prepinsta Prime. And since, as you know, Prepinsta Prime is a Netflix for all kind of educational purpose videos. So here you will get 200 plus courses in terms of learning. So first I'll tell you about the Accenture, what you can get in this. And apart from Accenture, you will get more than a lot of courses with respect to the popular courses like data science, data analytics, artificial intelligence. So now first look at the company specific tracks that you have. So here we have the Accenture, and if you want to know what is the syllabus that is being asked, or what you have to prepare, so you can just check the syllabus page from here, and here it will take you to all the rounds that you have. So for the logical, technical assessment, coding, DSA, interview preparation skills, these are the skills that you need to learn. So in a technical assessment, you will find this pseudocode round, and here all the questions, like I said, you need to learn C and C++ in order to solve this kind of question. And sometimes they might ask you some of the DSA related questions in the pseudocode as well. Alright, again from the same platform you can get the separate pseudocode module. So here this is where we have the separate pseudocode module that I recommend you to go through this. So but before that, start with learning, like if you have enough time, just start learning C, C++, and after that check out the data structures course, because I have shown you as in the Accenture syllabus page, we might ask you some of the questions on data structures as well. And after that, you can solve the queries or the questions from this pseudocode. So basically using this Prepinsta Prime and prepinsta.com, you can get the access to previous year question papers for the practice purpose, for the learning purpose. Alright. And if you want to get this, so like I said, if you comment on this video, eventually for the top 3 commenters, it's going to be free of cost. And as well as if you use the coupon code as YouTube, you will get some amazing discounts as well. Alright, so now let's look at this question. And here we have some integers, which is like variables that we have been defined. And here you are going to set some of the values, like sum equal to 0. And the value of n we are going to set at 7. After that, here we have a statement for the loop or for loop. Alright. So repeat for, basically this is the English statement. So whether you can take it for the loop or even for the for loop or while loop, anyone. Alright. So now, what is this statement states that repeat for I equal to 1 to n. Simple statement that we have. But now, what is the confusion here is that, let's say what is the value of I, which we have is like 1. What is the value of n? We have 7. And for these values, you have to iterate or you have to calculate the sum, and where each time, whatever the sum value that we have, in that you are going to add that I into I value to that. Alright, so this is the later part, we will discuss about that later. But first thing, here with this statement, what is the problem with that statement is that if you are coming from the Python background, so you would know that in Python, if you are using the for loop, so any value, or we have this n equal to 7, you will only iterate it till like n minus 1 value, because the second parameter that we have, this is the start and this is the end for your for loop, or if you are passing that with the range function. So this end is always going to be exclusive or non-inclusive. So it will only count till 6. If you use this till the 6, you might get a different result. But if you think that as a pretty clean English statement, as because you can see that this is completely given in English statement, we do not have any programmatical syntax here, right? Repeat for I to n means starting from I to the n. That's meant this the value is going to be 7 only. So you not need to worry about this for loop in the Python, or you not need to consider it till the n minus 1 times. So you have to calculate it till the value of n being 7. Alright, so after that we are going to write the loop, and you are going to take the value of the sum. You will multiply each time that 1 by 1, and then you are going to print the sum at the end. So now if you want me to solve it, so now let's take this value. So initially we have the sum as 0. Alright, so this I value is 1 and equal to we have 7. So the first iteration that we have is going to be for 1. So basically these are the iterations that we're going to have: 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 7, because we want from 1 to 7. So for this, I'm going to add all the values for the sum here. So initially sum which we have is like 0. Plus what is the value of I here we have is 1. So these are actually nothing but the I values. So this 0 plus what is the value that we got is like 1 into 1, which will be 1. So 1. So here the new sum value is going to be 1. For the second iteration, where the I value is we have 2. So the new sum value that we have is 1. Plus here we are going to I value is 2. So then it will become 2 into 2, which will be 4. And this new sum is going to be 5. This is the new sum that we have. So if you regularly solve this, so you are going to, if you solve this till the value 7, alright, you will get the answer as 140. So I hope you may not need more clarification here, because whatever value that we have, this is going to be our final sum value, and we just have to print that. So if you want, so basically here what we have is like for the third iteration, it will be 5. And you will add this 5, because we are going to add that, right? So 5 plus 3 into 3, that you will get plus 14. Likewise 14 into, then you will 14 plus you will do this 4 into 4 like 16. So basically 14 plus 16. So likewise you will add all these values, and eventually at the 7th step that you have, you will get the value as 140. So that will be your answer. The only confusion for this question was this statement. So this is in a pretty English line, simple English. All you have to do is take 1 to the end. That's it. Alright, so now let's move to the next question. And this is very easy. And I know you can answer this just while looking at the question. So basically, since what we have here is like we have the value of A, which we are storing at 45. And here we have what we are storing into the value of I, or the variable I, is the size of A. So if you know how size of works, so basically it returns us the memory size that is required to store this value. Since this is an integer value, in C that in the C that we have, it requires 4 bytes, right? So that's why it's going to be whatever the value that we have is going to be 4. That's it. So basically it was just pretty simple, and sometimes they might ask this. So because for the people who might not know, then it will be difficult for them. So basically what size of will do is that it will return like the memory space, how much memory space it is required for the int. So you can just remember these things like for int, character, then float, long, double. So basically you can remember there's a specific memory location which is going to be fixed value. So it might change the data type here. So based on that, the value might also change. Alright. Then here, moving on to this question here. Alright, so here we have this code where the I value is given as 140. We have the function where function we are going to pass this 140 here. And inside that function, we have a conditional statement which checks whether this I value is I mod 2 is not equal to 0. So that means we are going to perform the modulus operator, and whether we are going to check if the output is going to be 0 or not. That means is it divisible by 2 or not. So this 140 is an even number. So basically, if you divide it by 2, of course, you're going to get this as an even number, right? Because this is 140 that we have, it's going to be divisible by 0. But the condition that we have here, not equal to 0. That means for the value of 140, this will be false. It will jump to the else statement. And what we have in else statement is a return statement. And inside that, we are calling one more function because it is a recursive, like we are feeding one more function. And from that, we are passing the argument here for the function as I value equal to 1. So initially we have I as 140, but now again we are calling the function, and in that we are passing the value of I as 1. So this will be, again go back to here. It will check whatever the condition of this if statement. Now since this value 1 is odd, for this value of I equal to 1, if condition will be true, then it will check to the return statement, and what the value of new value that we have, I equal to 1, that will be your output as a 1. As easy, it's just that we're calling a function inside a function. Alright, so now let's move to this question, and here as you can see, we are going to deal with some ternary operators. So basically this is a C code that we have the main function, and these are the variables which are declared: x equal to 2, y equal to 0, z equal to 3. Alright, so now what we have here, this is the ternary operator, and as you know about the ternary operator, the first statement is going to be the condition. Now depends on this condition. If the given condition is true, then it will execute this statement if true. If the statement or the condition is false, then it will execute this statement when it will be a false. So now if you look at this carefully, or if you just take this question in literal basis, so what you can do is you can directly check, okay, we have the x value as 2 and y value which is 0, x is 2 is greater than 0, then this is true. And what is going to, once if the condition is true, then it will print this print statement. What we are printing, the value as z, so which is 3, and we have that option as 3 in the question. But if you answer like this, this is going to be the false, because 3 is not the answer in this question. Why? Let me tell you. Since we have a main function, and inside the main function, here we have use a return statement. So in C, you cannot use the return statement within a main function. So it is only allowed in terms of whenever you have non-void function. So whenever you create a function or which is going to return statement. So this is not allowed syntactically. So whenever you compile this code, it's going to throw an error. So one more option that we have for the error, that's the correct answer. But literally, if we are not paying attention to the question, and if you directly go and start, solving on this, so you will check the condition, and okay, this is true, so this will get evaluated. The answer is option is also there, so you will go here and you might make mistake like this. So that's why what we have here is a main function. You cannot use a return statement in a main function, like on any. So it can be return statement can be used in terms of getting the return value, and that is used in any non-void functions. So basically, that's why for that reason, here we have the answer as an error and not as a thing. Alright. So now moving on to the next question. Here we have. Okay. So this is the value that we have. So basically here we are given integers. These are the variables. And for some of the values we have here as j equal to 31, count equal to 0, and number is 64 initially. Alright. So here we are going to use the while loop. And what is the condition for the while loop? Num not equal to 0. Initially, like what we have, 64. Of course, it is not equal to 0. Not equal to 0, which is true. We have the num value at 64. So then it will jump to this if statement. And what we have here for the if statement? Here we have num and 1, which is again a bitwise operator here between the numbers. Number we have 64 and between 1. So you have to convert this into a binary, you have to convert this into a binary, you have to perform the bitwise operation, and then you have to check whether it is going to be equal to 1 or not. If it is equal, then we are going to jump out of the loop, else you are going to go to the else statement. So now let's simply write a binary for this. Let's say for 1 we have, okay, so we already did that, right? 1, 2, 4, 8, then 16, 32, 64. So basically for the number 64, this the binary value is going to be this, and for the number 1 it is going to be this, and all will be 0. And as you know how in the first question only we have discussed how this bitwise AND works is like whenever both the values are 1, then only it will be 1, otherwise it will be 0. So this output that we have for this num and 1 is going to be as 0, and 0 is, so if you do that like this, 0 equal to 1, so this is false. It will jump to the else statement, and in the else it will increase the counter. So initially counter we have set as 0, so now your counter will become 1. Previously it was 0. After that, what we are doing with number is this operator is called as right shift operator. So initially we have number at 64, 1. So this is your right shift operator. So what this mean by this right shift operator is nothing but dividing this by the 2. So it's equivalent to, if you divide this number by 2, so which is equivalent to the right shift operator works. So basically here now our new value for the number is going to be 32. So we can update here number equal to 32. Alright. So it will again go back to the loop. It will check if num not equal to 0, it is true. Then it will jump to the if statement. Then it will perform num and 1. So the new number that we have is a 32. You have to calculate the binary number for 32, which is like if I say here it will be 1, here it will be 1, remaining going to be 0, and for the 1 it will be 1, and if you calculate it's going to be 0, since there's no matching that we have for this 1 and 1, right? So again, what happened here, it will come to the else part, it will increment the counter, this counter will be 2, and it will perform the right shift operator on the 32. Now this 32 will become 16. Likewise, it will keep on going until unless this number will become closer to this. And if you just calculate this at the end, you will get the counter or count value as a 6. So you can do this as homework, or maybe you can solve it on your own to check. Like this is the logic that you have. So eventually you have to perform for the number of iteration till you get this condition. Basically, if condition is to be true, where num and 1 is equal to, so whenever this condition will, if condition will become 0 equal to 0, so in that it will true, it will jump out of the loop, and after the loop what we have is a print statement, so it will print this. So that's it. So this is going to be 6 steps. So 6 times you are going to increment the counter, so the last value for the counter will become as a 6, and that will be the answer. Alright. And now we have one more question. Alright, so basically this is, I'm not going to solve this question. You have to solve it, but I will help you how this is going to work. And you have to submit the answer for this. And the top 3 commenters who are going to answer this, we will give you the Prime subscription for the free. So, but I will just help you how this is going to work. So eventually you have to continue, you have to perform the rest of the iterations, and you have to submit the answer in the comment section. Alright. So now here first thing that we have is 3 variables ABC. A value is 6, B value is 84. Here we have while loop where 84 is greater than 0, which is true, it will enter. It will calculate the value of B, which is like 84 by 2. So which will become 42. Alright. So this is a basic division. And whatever the value of A we have to add that 6. So initially value of A is 6. So 6 plus 6 will become 12. And where the value of C is going to be the addition of A and B. So here we have 54, this addition of these two numbers, 42 and 12. This is what we have. Again, inside that, we have one more while loop, and it will check whether the value of C is greater than 40 or not. Since 54 is greater than 40, so it will jump. It will check if C mod 2 is equal to 0. So what is the value that we have? 54. So 54 mod 2 equal to if say 0, it is true. 54 is an even number. If you divide that by 2, there will be remainder will be 0. So that we have. And in this scenario, it will print A. And what is the value of the print A that we got? This is 12. So this will be the first value that you have. Now, in the next iteration, we have the new value. Since once this loop is done there, this if statement is done, it's going to be end the loop. And we have this main while loop, right? Because we have this while loop inside the loop. So now it will come back here. What is the updated value of the B that we have? Which is 42. 42 is greater than 0. So like this, you have to solve for the rest of the iterations. And you have to give me, since as you can see here, we have 3 options which are starting the first value as a 12. So it could be anything. So you have to solve it. It might take 4 to 5 iterations more to get the correct answer. So you have to solve that and answer or explain what will be the answer here. And we will give you the best answer, or the people who have correctly explained this entire code, you can get a chance to get the reference or subscription for the free. Alright. So that's it for it. And lastly, I want to tell, and I'll just tell you that. So in order to solve these kind of questions, you need to know C++, C, and as I can show you on the platform, so you can just follow C and C++. After that, you have to go through the DSA, and then you have this pseudo code from the coding brush up round, and then you can just follow the complete Accenture company specific track, in which you will get everything about this. All right. So this is it. And in the last note, I just want to tell you that please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also follow us on all the social media platforms so that you will never miss another update from our end in terms of any placement related. All right. Thank you.